So with the whole card thing, Cole goes to this card show, brings 120 of his dollars. I don't know if it's a twin thing, and I wouldn't say that they're like super close. Brooke was very annoyed by Cole. Even when he breathes, he's gross. He's breathing too loud. He's chewing too loud. These are not like hugging and, on
I feel
top of
like
each
we're the
other
same
twins.
person, Nora. We are the same
No, they're
person.
staged. Yeah. Oh my God. So she goes, well, Cole just took $120 out of his spend. I'm doing that and I'm buying something. I'm doing the same thing that he just did. I said, okay, well, just because he did that, you don't have to do that same thing. That's your money to spend. Like, wait to save up. I have to have an autographed photograph picture of a celebrity, and I'm getting it. And I'm spending what Cole spent, and I have to get it. So I'm like, okay, Brooke, this is a little insane, but whatever. If you're taking out of your own money, I can't tell you no. She goes online on eBay and she finds, oh, what's his name? I think I wrote it down. Whatever. She finds this autograph picture, buys it. And I said, before you even hit buy, I need the cash. Go in your little bucket and give me $80. It was $80 to ship it, to buy this thing, $80. So she counts out the 80, gives it to me, hits go. And I printed out like registers for each of their slots. So they deduct it, right away.
Right.
They're registering how much is left, how much was there. So I said, write in your thing minus the 80 out of what you have in your spend. She writes it down. And, I said, Brooke, maybe that's like a little crazy to get that random signed thing. So she said this is what she said to me. She said, Mom, it was an educated purchase because the day I got my signed picture in the mail, his Netflix show is #1 on Netflix.
Oh, so it's
So
an
she said it's
investment.
an investment. She's like, I'm really glad I got it because now his show is #1 and I got his, now I have his signed picture and I'm happy to have it like hanging in my room.
All right. Well, I will say, Nora, these anecdotes are definitely very interesting. They always are. One of the things that could come out of it, because it sounds like, obviously they're starting with a lot in their spend, is that if they spend it
Right,
down, then they're going to look and they're going to say, wait a minute, now I'm left with the amount that I'm getting monthly. Like I had all of this, and they look around and say, but I don't have anything to show for it except this autographed picture of some
right,
Netflix star. And we want them to learn when the lessons
right,
cost dozens of dollars. A few $100s can be painful, but it is still better than when they're in their 20s or their 30s, and those lessons are costing them thousands or tens of
right.
thousands of dollars. So, as painful as it is to watch them spend money right at this juncture, this ultimately is a
Right.
good thing.
Yeah, 100%. And that's, what I said to my husband too. I'm like, let them do this. And then they'll see every month when we sit down
Right.
to tally what they've gotten there, they'll see how much it's gone down and how much they have,
Yeah.
knowing that they're getting the 40.
So, what do you think the biggest challenge has been? You're just a few weeks in, but what's been the most challenging thing so far?
I don't even know that I would say that it's challenging. It's just, I feel like the biggest thing is we want to spend our save. Like that's their every day. But we just want to take that and we want to spend that. I'm like, what is it that you're even getting? And why do you have to have that right now? You have to go blow all your money on cards and then you can't go down the line. I said, Cole, why don't you read to me when these card shows are coming? X date, X date, X date. I'm like, that's 5 card shows. Don't you want to be
Perfect.
able to like have a little something each time you go? And I think that's why this is so valuable and so important is like these kids are already 12 and they're still like, let's spend it all if I have it. Ooh, even though now they're definitely more mindful, knowing it's coming out of theirs. But I think had I not done this or had we not done this with them, they have no concept of what's in my wallet or in my bank account. They have no idea. They can't see that. And I've been strict with Cole like that. Cole got
Perfect.
an Xbox game. I said, you owe me $20. You can buy that yourself. You have the money for that. You used to always buy them for me. I said, go. And he wasn't going to give me the $20. I said, I felt like I want my $2, that movie. He was like so grumpy about it, but he gave it to me.
A good reminder is always, well, listen, I hear you, but keep in mind the money that you're using as your spend money did come from me initially. So it's not like you just planted some seeds in the backyard and
Right.
that grew. It did come from my wallet. So don't think, child, that this
Right.
is was just
Yeah,
found money.
exactly.
I would also say that it is really important for the save, especially in the beginning stages of all this, those first few months, even the first
Mhm.
couple of years, to really have a specific goal and stick to it
Right.
for that save. So if it is, the card show is coming up in 3 months, so it is not to be touched, or it is $400, that's your item. I'm not going to say that it has to be militaristic and never ever changing, but it should really be the exception and not the rule. Once they establish this is the item I'm
Right.
saving for, or this is the dollar amount or the time frame, whatever it is, the event, then you really want to try and stick to that as much as
So is it
possible.
normal? I think they're like afraid to pick something to say, like, I feel like in their minds, it's like then they're getting rid of all their money in there. You know what I mean? It's like when I say they're like, oh, I don't want to, like, I just want it now to buy this and that. I don't, there's nothing I really want to save up for. That's what they'll say.
Then I would say for the time being, for a placeholder until they identify something, I would have a specific amount and say, if you can't come up with something, I'm going to provide for you. And I would pick an amount that is going to take them somewhere between, at their age, let's say 3 and 5 months, whatever that dollar amount is. If at the rate that you're giving them, if that's going to be $200, then it's 200. If it's 80, it's 80. If it's 400, it's 4. Whatever
But
that
should I
amount
not let them
is.
take it out before a certain point? Or, that's my question. Like, should they keep it in there or can they take it out of their save if they think that's what they want to do?
Anything that comes out of the save for something other than the goal that was established should be exception and not the rule. If they do that, then you say, okay, listen, this isn't
Right.
the way that it works. I'm going to let you do that this time. And you maybe give them once a year, get
Right.
out of jail free. If it's, once in oh, you did that, but it was 9 months ago, but no, it should be really something that's
Right.
pretty
Okay.
set.
Nora, Cassidy doesn't really ever know what her one thing she's saving is, but she has a good concept now of like what the difference is between the save and spend. And we talk about it a lot through the month because when she'll say, like, oh, I want those shoes and they're $200. And
Hmm.
I'll say, that sounds like a great thing to save for,
Right.
right? That's not, you don't have enough spend money for that, but you could get it in 2 or 3 months if you start really saving. And so it's more of like the conversation that goes along with it. But she may have written like three different things all within the same sort of price range that she might be saving for. But it could change, she might want something today and 2 months from now, something different. But
Right.
I think the most important thing for her, she's understanding the difference of what we can buy today and what we have to save for 2 or 3 or 4 months down the road.
Right.
And Julie, wouldn't you say John is somewhat on that same path when it comes to biking things, right? So his save bucket has been more along the lines of, I know there are things I'm going to need for my bike. I don't know what they are.
Hmm.
And then when those things come up, I can tap into
Right.
that resource.
Yeah, yeah. For him, he has a lot of bike maintenance and bike repairs and bike replacements. And, a wheel for his bike, he just had to pay
Oh, wow.
$260 plus the labor to replace it. And so if he didn't have that money in his save to pay me back right at that
Right.
moment, he would have been bikeless for a while.
Oh,
So he's also learning that that's a really important thing for him. And at one time, he wanted an Xbox, and we went to Best Buy, and I said, you have enough money and save to buy an Xbox, but like, then you won't have any money for your bike. So what's more
right.
important to you, to be a gamer or to be a biker? And he's like, no, I'm a biker. Like, I
Right.
can play games on my computer. It's fine.
Right.
And so I think it's, again, just like analyzing who you are, what you're about, where your dollars are going to go. And that save bucket has been really instrumental in them, like, kind of realizing their true passions and where they want their money going.